Looking for these better days.
It is Tuesday, September 16th. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. A Monday Night Football doubleheader last night saw Baker Mayfield and the Bucs with a come-from-behind victory 2019 over the Texans. And Justin Herbert and the Chargers stuck it to the Raiders 20-9. Plus injuries galore in the NFL that will affect the lines here for week number 3. Mackenzie Rivers is with me here on this episode of Better Day. And Mac, before we get to all the week 3 stuff with all the injuries in the NFL, specifically at the quarterback position, let's talk about last night's games. And we'll start with the one that's, I guess, freshest in our minds, and that is the Raiders game. Chargers win 20-9. Geno Smith, not great, Bob. I mean, what more can you say? He had 3 interceptions, probably could have been 5 or 6. I mean, when we look at the turnover-worthy plays in this game, the numbers are just going to be staggering. I saw a stat last night that 7 players on the Chargers had multiple passes defensed, and that is the most in a single game since the stat began being tracked in 1999. 7 different players had multiple pass defense last night for the Chargers.
That's hard to do. I mean, you usually have 7 incomplete passes in a game, and most of those aren't deflected. To have minimum 7 batted balls and by spreading the wealth, no wonder 3 of
14.
them led to picks.
He had minimum 14 batted balls.
Oh, minimum had 2.
Players,
yeah.
7 players had
no wonder
more
the
than
first
one.
pass bounced into the linebacker's hands. I mean, they were bouncing around all night.
Yeah, it was bad. There was a lot of bad moments that Chargers totally had 15 pass defense, 6 tackles for loss, 3 takeaways, 0 touchdowns allowed. No team had ever hit all of those marks in a game, again, since passes defensed and tackles for loss were first tracked in 1999. This was a historic defensive effort here from the Chargers, but it was a bad effort from Geno Smith. And
Chip Kelly and the homecoming for Pete Carroll.
The one interception, I'll get to Pete Carroll in just a moment here, but the one interception that really bothered me from Geno was when they were down 11, fourth quarter. He tries to throw it to Jacoby Myers in the end zone, and it winds up being an interception. At that point, you're in field goal range, dude. Like you're at the 43-yard line. Like you're working your way into, or not the 43. They actually got down to the intercept. They were at the 20-yard line. The drive started at the 43. So he's at the 20-yard line. Like you're in field goal range. You know that like worst case scenario, you're going to kick a field goal, and then you have some time left that you're hoping, okay, maybe we get a stop here. We get the ball back. We touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie. You can't throw that interception there. You can't, and I felt this way about Bo Nix in Sunday's game against the Colts. When you're in field goal range, where a field goal is very important to you in terms of the score, you can't make those throws that wind up as interceptions. You have to be smarter as an NFL quarterback to know that you have 3 points in your back pocket, and you have to preserve that.
The last 5 possessions of the game for the Raiders: interception, field goal, interception, which really ended the game, which is the one you were talking about, downs, end of game. I feel like you could nitpick like 1 or 2. I mean, not even nitpick. You could criticize 1 or 2 terrible plays by Geno Smith, but man, there's not a lot positive to pick out of this game if you're looking at it from the Raiders' perspective. From the Chargers' perspective, I think maybe a bet on Jesse Minter plus 850 to be the assistant coach of the year. He's now second favorite behind Jeff Havley, the Packers DC. The Packers is going to be about Micah Parsons. That's going to be the narrative all year. But Jesse Minter, he kind of didn't have the horses last year, and now he does. Looks like the best defense in the league.
Although Khalil Mack went down with an injury last night, and we'll see
which is going to show how versatile and nuanced this coach is. So it's going to help his odds, if anything. I mean, Khalil Mack, they let Bosa go. It's not like Khalil Mack is the Khalil Mack he used to be. So I do think the Chargers' defense will be fine, and they look great. They're definitive favorites to win the AFC West at this point.
Yeah. What did you make of Pete Carroll's decision to turn a 2-possession game into a 2-possession game with 11 minutes left in the game? They were down 14. they had, what was it? It was like an 11-play drive or something like that. Like they had the ball for, no, excuse me, 19-play drive.
That's insane.
It was
yeah.
it was an 11-minute drive. That's what it was. It was 19 plays. They held the ball for 11 minutes, right? 19 plays, 62 yards. They held the ball from the 7:30 mark of the third quarter till they kicked the field goal at the, what time was it?
They were at the
11:15
Chargers
mark?
Yeah,
They were at the
the Chargers
18-yard line.
18. It was 4th and 10. I feel like my problem with the drive is not so much the fact that it ended in a field goal, but the fact that it was 19 plays, and you were going to have some splash plays at some point. They kind of baited him in with the zone scheme, just like, we're going to let you not kill us with 1,000 paper cuts. So, I mean, I don't know. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I get it if you're thinking we're trying to win this game, not tie this game. We're going to need 2 touchdowns anyway, and then this field goal will make us win. It's not like you have a good chance at 4th and 10 from the 18. You know, you've kind of already lost it though at that point.
I just think they were lucky to get 3 more possessions in that game. There was a chance that they only had 1 more possession in that game, you know? And
Sure.
so to kick the field goal there, I hated it because let's say you don't get the first down. You're still in the same situation. You still need the ball twice. Now, I understand, like, in one aspect, it's like, all right, I need a touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and a field goal to tie the game. But in this case, you need 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points to tie the game. But you still need to possess the football twice. And so I didn't like that decision to kick the field goal there. But you mentioned it. Chargers now the overwhelming favorites to win the AFC West. They are 2-0. Raiders are 1-1. Jared Smith said yesterday he'd still be interested in the Chiefs to win this division.
Okay.
Are you still interested in the Chiefs to win the division?
It's plus 230. They lost the tiebreak, but that was in what would be the Chargers' home field. So the next game they play is in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
They have to win that one, and then they'd obviously have to be one up the rest of the way. Plus 230. I feel like there will be other opportunities to bet on the Chiefs when they're down. Patrick Mahomes now 13-2 as an underdog, losing as a home underdog. That really is an end of an era. It might be kind of a down year for the Chiefs. I don't know. I wouldn't. If I gun to my head, I wouldn't bet the Chiefs or the Chargers at plus 105. I'd rather have 2-1 with the Chiefs for sure.
Yeah, Chiefs.
How about plus 330 with the Broncos? Are we off the Broncos train, the darlings of the preseason?
I don't know. Chiefs, looking at the FanDuel Sportsbook here, Chiefs minus 205 just to make the playoffs. And yeah, you mentioned the plus 230 price to win the division. Schedule does get easier. You know, we'll see how it plays out here for Kansas City moving forward. Let's talk about the other game last night, part of the Monday Night Football doubleheader, and that was a come-from-behind effort by Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. They win 20-19 over the Texans, and I tweeted out before the drive even ended, I said, regardless of the outcome, this is one hell of a drive by Baker Mayfield.
Sure, 4th and 10.
Yeah, and what's amazing is they showed the stat on the ESPN broadcast last night. Baker Mayfield in the last 2 seasons has more fourth-quarter touchdown passes than any quarterback in the NFL. Now, I know he didn't throw the touchdown there. They ran it in with Rachaad White from the 2-yard line. But that is still an impressive stat that, when it comes to, we talk about all the time, like fourth-quarter comebacks, right, and the clutch gene and whatnot. For Baker to lead the NFL in the past couple of seasons in fourth-quarter touchdowns with 22 of them, the dude is gutsy. And he might be on that short list of quarterbacks that you want in a 2-minute drill, game on the line. He's proven it.
I think another great testament to that is the fact that they were number 1 in third downs last year, and they're above 50% on third downs this year, which is like an elite top of the league number. And you can't say it's a coordinator, this coordinator, that coach. He's really done it everywhere he's gone. He's been, I guess, consistent. I mean, I guess there's 2 different ways to excel at quarterback. You can be consistent and you can be explosive. And he has the latter. When you need a big play, he's one of the best in the business at getting you that big play. He might throw you a pick on first and second down, but on third down, he's money getting those first conversions.
So I guess that's now 12 fourth-quarter comebacks for Baker Mayfield in his career. Cool. 4 different teams. Tom Brady is the leader. The most fourth-quarter comebacks in his career, 46 of them. Do you know who is second on the list?
Matt Ryan.
No, Matt Ryan's fourth on the list. It's a good call.
Because you got to be a quarterback that's down at some point. Tom Brady doesn't have a lot of these because he just wouldn't let that happen.
But Tom Brady's the number one 46
really?
fourth quarter comeback. Yeah,
wow.
Yeah,
even though he got less opportunities, man, what a goat.
46 fourth quarter comebacks. Peyton Manning number 2, 43, and then Ben Roethlisberger number 3 with 41.
And Matt Ryan's fourth. All right, he's really the odd man out there.
Ryan with 38 and Matthew Stafford with 38 as well. Drew Brees with 36. Yeah.
Russell Wilson with the win is now 3 wins away from the top 10 and passing Matt Ryan in career wins. I'm not sure if he'll get there.
Russell Wilson, 30. He's 9th on the list. 32 fourth quarter comebacks. I mean, what a game! All right, let's good win for the Bucs. They are now 2-0. I think the Bucs they certainly can run the football. We know Bucky Irving's special, 17 carries, 71 yards. Rashad White also 10 carries for 65 yards. You know, this Texans defense with their elite pass rush. Yeah, they sacked Baker Mayfield 4 times, but with the defensive front so worried about the pass rush, how about you stop the run? I mean, 30 carries for 169 yards for the Tampa Bay Bucs. 5.6 yards per carry. That's how you lose a football game if you're a defensive team.
Buccaneers had 25 first downs to the Texans 12. They really could have won this game a lot more handily than they did. You call it a comeback, and it was, but they make a field goal. They take care of business at different points in the game. Mm-hmm. They probably need to be upgraded like a point in this game. Total yards, 360 to 260.
Yeah.
Pretty dominant performance on the road.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those like fluke finishes, right? Where it's like, the final score tells a different story than the actual inside the stats, because this was really a one-way game here with the Bucs dominating the yards per play and things like that. All right, Mackenzie, let's talk about all the injuries in the NFL, because it is going to affect, we have already seen it, it is affecting these lines here for week number 3. We'll start with the Minnesota Vikings, as their quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, is going to be out 2 to 4 weeks here, dealing with a high ankle sprain. They will turn to Carson Wentz, who is the newly signed backup. Man, I bet you Kevin O'Connell wishes he still had Daniel Jones right now. But Carson
Peyton
Wentz
Manning Jones.
Indiana Jones, as they're calling him. So Carson Wentz will take over as the starting quarterback. It's a battle of the backups here on Sunday, with Jake Browning going for the Bengals and Carson Wentz going for the Minnesota Vikings. What did you see in the line here, and what's your take on the spread movement?
Those are two different things, which I think creates some opportunities. So the line, very interesting tale that it tells. This was 2.5 on the look ahead. So Vikings, Bengals, pretty much even teams at that point. Joe Burrow goes down before Sunday Night Football, so no injuries to report on the Vikings side, but Joe Burrow out, shoots up to 4.5. Now that's through the key number of 3, so that's like a 4.5 point line move, which makes sense, even though Jake Browning's great, Joe Burrow's greater, about 4.5, 5 points greater. I think that's where the line should be. I'm not sure that the downgrade that we've seen with some of the Vikings injuries on Sunday night, besides quarterback, where it moved to 3.5, and with McCarthy now out, you can get a 2.5 lay minus 20, and most of the markets at 3. That's a huge move from 4.5 where it was. Are we sure that Carson Wentz, a former top 5 MVP candidate, is worse than J.J. McCarthy, who's had 2 starts in about 7 bad quarters in his 8-quarter NFL career?
Mm-hmm. I would agree. I think
I don't think so.
No, I'm saying, yeah, I think this is really interesting. And it's fascinating to me because Jake Browning did go 4-3 as a starter with the Bengals. He's been in this offensive system for a few years now, right? He's had to step in with Joe Burrow being injured before. He's got a lot of playing time in this offense. The players are certainly familiar with him. It's a much easier transition for him to step in at quarterback than it is for Carson Wentz to step in here with the Minnesota Vikings. But
that's a fair point.
But something that I like about the Minnesota Vikings is, and I know we're saying, oh, well, Aaron Jones is now banged up, the running back. I think Jordan Mason's the better back. I think Jordan Mason getting the bulk of the carries is a good thing for the Minnesota Vikings. In fact, with a backup quarterback and maybe no Aaron Jones, I'd be firing up Jordan Mason in fantasy this week to think that he has a big game here against the Cincinnati Bengals, and we know how bad the Cincinnati Bengals defense is. So
Yep.
I think, dare I say, this number being 41.5 is really disrespectful and low. And I understand the Brian Flores defense and all that stuff, but like you said it, Carson Wentz should be able to score. I think Jordan Mason will be able to run on this, Bengals team. And I think Browning's going to be fine in this offense. This is
Why bet on one backup when you can bet on both backups being better than expected? Over 41. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I do think the market's drastically overreacting in the Wentz case, but I'd say they're probably pretty drastically reacting in the Burrow to Browning case. Their QBR, when Browning played half the season and Burrow played half the season with the same weapons, same coach, same everything, you couldn't tell which one's which. If you did a blind test, you're looking at their stats, they were pretty even that year. I'm not saying Burrow's or Jake Browning's Burrow, but I do think he can score some points even against Brian Flores' team. I mean, if Penix can throw for 120 and score 22 points, the Bengals can get up 21. Vikings win by 3. We're looking at an over.
And think about how many points the Falcons left on the board in that game. I mean,
True.
The Falcons, they kicked the field goal from the 10-yard line. They kicked the field goal from the 15-yard line. They kicked the field goal from the 20-yard line. Like, you want to talk about the EPA and stuff. There was, incredible opportunities for the Falcons to score points in that game. All right, other injury news. Jaden Daniels has a knee injury. His status for the Commanders game coming up this weekend against the Raiders is in doubt. What are you seeing here, and what do you think happens?
So, major downgrade. The market is taking this seriously. It was 5.5 at open. Commanders lost, but all right. I don't think it would anything to be drastic. This is recording, late before. I guess the Raiders' reaction should be in priced into the market fine. They're up late like us. So Raiders lost, Commanders lost, but from 5.5 to now 3-point favorites only. The Commanders on to the 3. That's like a 3.5-point move. So downgrade to the Commanders, even though we expect Daniels to play. So they're saying either he's not going to play or he's going to be significantly worse than, a top 5 quarterback like we're used to seeing.
I don't know what to bet in this game if it's not Jaden Daniels. I don't know.
So you think there's a big chance that he misses? I mean, the line says that, but I guess I'm just optimistic reading the reports.
I think there's a chance.
Doesn't say he's out.
Now,
status iffy.
Now, here's the thing. Marcus Mariota, we have long said, is a very capable backup, right?
No doubt.
Not a guy that maybe you want for the entire season, but for one game, there are less guys that you would have a lot of guys that you'd be worse off with than Marcus Mariota.
Yep.
And Mariota played for the Raiders. He's got a lot of gotta love. Now the game's not in Vegas. The game is in Washington, but seeing Geno Smith and the turnovers, that is a bad recipe against Dan Quinn's defense. It's the cross-country trip. It's playing the 1:00 game for the West Coast team. I think I'm going to bet the Commanders. I think I am. I think that's the play.
I think you have different ways to win. So obviously, if Daniels is announced back in, this line goes back to 5. You're sitting pretty with your 2 points of CLV. If it ends up being Mariota, it's probably this line, or maybe it goes to 2.5. But he played 2 starts essentially. Came in after the first half a drive in one of them, but 40 points against the Panthers, 64 QBR, and then came in at halftime and beat the Cowboys 23-19, 96 QBR last year. So with Cliff Kingsbury, he's proven that he can fill in pretty well.
Yep. Other news around the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys have found their Micah Parsons replacement as they have signed Jadeveon Clowney, who is expected to
as a coach
play. Yeah,
as a D-line motivational speaker. Yeah, he was one of the greats of all time. Yeah, good for him.
So Clowney, who
in college he was.
Did not work out this offseason. I mean, he probably worked out on his own or whatever, but he did not participate with a team in an off-season training program. He did not participate in training camp with any team or play in a preseason, but he is expected to play this weekend with the Cowboys take on the Bears. He said, quote, "I do expect to play, but I don't know a snap count." So
all right, he's only 32, looking it up. It just seems like we've been talking about him forever. I guess if there's one position where it's like just be a havoc out there, you don't need too much prep time, and it's not like he's going to be taking snaps out of anybody that matters. So yeah, let him run wild. Why not?
Yeah, he talked about how he joined the Titans in 2020 in week 1 and played 40 snaps in that game. He played 47 snaps according to ESPN. That was 6 days after signing with the Titans. He'll have his first practice coming up here this week with the Dallas Cowboys. So, okay. I mean, listen, the Cowboys have a lot of issues, but they get the win over the New York Giants. So
they can stop the run because of
yeah, exactly.
Clark, and now they can stop the pass with the pass rusher Clowney.
Elite,
man,
bro.
They really know what they're doing over there.
This team is elite. Other
40 points.
Final thoughts on the week 3 lines that you're looking at, and it could be injury related, or it could just be, reactionary based. We talk about the overreactions from week number 1. Those actually did very well. Our overreactions, if you were fading the correct teams or backing the correct teams, you actually had a very positive weekend here in the NFL. What do you think about some of the lines that you're seeing here for week number 3? The one that jumped out to me, we talked about this on yesterday's show, the open for Arizona, San Francisco. It actually was Arizona as a small favorite for a little bit.
Yeah, very disrespectful.
And that's so disrespectful. Now the 49ers are minus 1.5. I still think that line's disrespectful. Mac Jones is good. Mac Jones can play. I don't understand this line. I think it's too much love for a 2-0 Arizona team. The 49ers, I think, can beat them handedly, especially at home here.
You could look at the Cardinals' 2 games and say they easily won both games. They were up double digits. All right, a couple of caveats. Number 1, they were facing probably the 2 worst teams in the NFL.
Exactly.
In the Saints and the Panthers. And 2, you can say that, all right, they didn't really care at the end of the game. They were running out the stretch. Each of the Saints and the Panthers had the ball with a chance to tie or take the lead in the final minutes of that game. So if they were sitting on the ball and taking the air out of it, they weren't doing a very good job at it. I think you could just say stats are the stats, possessions are possessions. All the teams want to do well. They're not that impressive. They kind of got outstatted by the Panthers. I think the 49ers, who have been very impressive statistically, even more so than the scoreboard in each of their first 2 games, I think we get it done here.
You know what this reminds me of? I'm gonna bring it up again. I know we've talked about this before. This reminds me of the Saints last year. They go 2-0, putting up 47 points and 44 points against Carolina and Dallas. Yeah, and it was, it wound up just being phony because those were 2 shit teams in Carolina and Dallas, and they were favored at home against the Eagles in week 3, and they lose that game. That was a close game, but they still lose that game. This, to me, is an overreaction to the 2-0 Cardinals here. They played 2 shit teams in the Saints and the Panthers. They should not be even with the 49ers here, because that's what this line is saying. If we're giving the 49ers a 1.5 for being home, they're telling me that Arizona and San Francisco are even teams right now, and I just don't agree with that.
No, and other markets kind of speak to that. Like the 49ers had a 10.5 win total. I know you lost Purdy and Kittle, but they've been able to step up with, I think, probably their best backup in a while, maybe even better than Darnold, as far as just filling the position of what Shanahan wants to do. Niners plus 155 to win the division. I think the fact that they're like dogs, I guess, that open to the Cardinals, it's really, it's just 2 different visions of football. I think obviously one of them has to be wrong. I think why not get paid earlier and bet the Niners on this in this week? If you do think the Niners should be dogs to the Cardinals, you should probably bet the Cardinals plus 330 to win the division.
If we're looking at just EPA per play ranks, they are even. Cardinals slightly better. This is only after 1 week though, so this is not updating. I only have 1 week data for both of these teams.
And the fact that they were close with San Francisco going to Seattle and Arizona going to New Orleans, come on.
I'm going to see if I can find 2 week data here on the EPA per play stuff. So you give me a moment on that. That was my biggest discrepancy here in week number 3. Do you have a big discrepancy in week number 3 coming up?
Yeah, I think there's going to be somewhat of a realization that Joe Flacco is 50 and he's throwing the ball 50 times a game. Like this Packers line, I get it moved from 7 to now 8. It was 9 earlier. I feel like the wheels are coming off whatever the Browns are trying to do. Like Myles Garrett's talking after the game. I know the Ravens were in a good spot to bounce back at home, but I think the Browns are a lot worse than we might have thought.
Offensive EPA per play, Arizona plus 0.5, San Francisco plus 0.3. So very close for both of those teams offensively. Defensive EPA per play, you have the, 49ers, number 1 in the NFL at
wow.
negative 0.19.
Take that. Robert Saleh is back on a mission.
The Cardinals rank 18th at negative 0.03. So the number 1 EPA per play defense in the NFL, the San Francisco 49ers. So if we're just looking at expected points, we have even teams on offense and a significantly better team on defense at home. Yeah, give me the Niners. Give me the Niners. Love it. Love it.
Couldn't agree more.
Yep. All right, Mackenzie, good stuff here. We're going to monitor, obviously, the NFL spreads as we progress throughout the rest of this week, and maybe more injury news comes out as we get further along. Obviously, the Chargers from last night, waiting to see the reports on Khalil Mack with that elbow injury. That's certainly going to affect them moving forward, you would think. One final thing in the NFL, because this is a story, I think it's interesting from I guess, a media perspective, but Tom Brady being in the Raiders coaching booth, is this an issue? Tom Brady and the Fox crew will broadcast next week's game between the Bears and who the Bears play. It's
Cowboys?
The Bears and the Cowboys, yes. And then the following week, the Raiders play the Bears. Do you think this is an issue?
No. I mean, come on. That's a manufacturer. So you're saying he's going to get intel when he talks to Ben Johnson, because all broadcasters talk to all the coaches, and then he's going to go and say, hey, Chip, maybe you put this in. I don't think he's ready for it.
Listen.
I don't see it.
Chip Kelly said that he talks to Tom Brady like 3 times per week, and they discuss game plan, and they go over film. Remember, last year, Brady's first year as a broadcaster, they didn't let him talk to the other teams. Right. This year, they made a change, and they said you can take part in the meetings, but it has to be virtually. You can't go to practice at the team's facilities, but you can do Zoom meetings with the opposing coaches to get ready for the games. So they clearly
I think that's a fair compromise.
Yeah,
because, Ben Johnson's not going to say anything that he thinks is going to hurt him.
But he can watch it in practice. Like, how many times do we see that? Do we see it all the time with, like, the broadcast crew? It's like, hey, we saw them working on this in practice. This is the end around here. We saw them working on this play.
And then he's going to flick it again. There you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I'm sure that Tom Brady will be something that they'll talk about on, like, First Take or something. Stephen A will get all up in arms about it, or Mad Dog will say something. Mad Dog will be like, how do you let this guy? He can't be in the coaching booth. He can't be in the coaching booth. Mad Dog, there's no reason to let the man broadcast. Let him broadcast the game. He can't be in the booth. He can't be talking to the other teams.
Can't do it. Bill Russell.
Yeah. It's amazing. All right, let's get into some Major League Baseball, where I have to slap myself in the wrist or maybe the face, or kick myself where the sun don't shine, for a big mistake that I made last night.
This is a real good story about Drew, a real United Airlines customer.
After almost 4 years of treatments, I was finally cancer-free. My mom's like, where do you want to go to celebrate? I'm like, let's go somewhere tropical. And then pilot hopped on the intercom and started talking about me, and I was like, what is going on here?
My wife beat cancer too, and I wanted to celebrate his special moment.
That's Bill, a real United pilot.
We brought him drinks and donuts. We all signed a card.
I was smiling ear to ear. Best flight ever, for sure.
That's how good leads the way.
Confronting high credit card debt can feel scary. But the good news is, if you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, financial relief options are now available. National Debt Relief is currently offering debt relief designed to reduce what you owe, fast-tracking your way to being debt-free. If you qualify for debt relief, you may be able to pay back significantly less than what you owe and save thousands of dollars. Imagine only paying one low monthly program payment you can afford and saving money as you become debt-free. National Debt Relief has already helped bring debt relief to over 550,000 U.S. consumers, earning thousands of 5-star reviews and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. You're stronger than your credit card debt. Take the first step and visit nationaldebtrelief.com to see what debt relief you qualify for. That's nationaldebtrelief.com.
Mackenzie, I did something last night that I immediately regretted when I did it, and I still did it anyway. I played against the Sunday night fade.
What? Come on.
I did it.
I mean, it's one thing if you didn't know about the evidence, but we've been documenting weekly.
I know. But the Yankees were in Minnesota, where they have owned the Minnesota Twins. Carlos Rodon's on the mound, where he has had a very nice season. Simeon Woods Richardson was on the mound for the Minnesota Twins, and I wanted to fade Simeon Woods Richardson. Here's a kid who they don't let go deep into the games, like ever. They pull him after 4 innings, after 5 innings, and he usually gives up 3 runs in those 4 innings anytime he gets hit. His underlying metrics aren't good. I just felt, man, this Yankees team is going to tee off on Simeon, and then you're going to sit here and go, hey, yeah, the Yankees are the Sunday night fade because they played the Red Sox on Sunday Night Baseball and had to travel to Minnesota. But man, it's kind of like when I said, hey, I don't want to bet against the Dodgers, or I don't want to bet against the. And remember,
pass on the Sunday night fade.
I know. That's what I should have done. Because remember also, it was these very same Minnesota Twins that were at home against the Detroit Tigers, and the Tigers were the Sunday night fade, and I warned the audience. I said, do not bet the Twins, and the Tigers whipped them.
They were the exception. All right, I guess that's evidence. So it worked out once for you.
Yeah, the Tigers whooped them, and I was like, see, I told you we didn't want to play the Sunday night fade because we knew that the Tigers were going to have a good game against them, and so that was one where we didn't want to play the Sunday night fade.
So you did the hard work. If you skip 2 bets that would have gone 1-1, you saved yourself 0.1 units. If you don't bet one and then bet one and then go 0-1, man, you had the right instincts. You could have avoided this this Monday morning catastrophe.
I know.
All right. We're just walking it through, just making sure everyone is on the same page here.
I messed up. I shouldn't have done it. It was a mistake. I am sorry. But
that's how you apologize.
Yeah, but the Yankees do lose in Minnesota as the Twins beat them 7-0. So the Sunday night fade stays strong. Congratulations to all of you who did play the Sunday night fade, and shout out.
Do as we say.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out. I think it was a Big Mo. Somebody hit me up on Twitter. And, Big Mo was like, he's like, well, wasn't the Yankees the Sunday night fade? And I'm like, yeah, bro, I know. I played them. Stupid me. Shout out, Big Mo. Appreciate you, man. You guys can contribute all the time. Hit me up on Twitter at Scott's On Air. I love you guys. Elsewhere last night in Major League Baseball, congratulations. The Phillies have clinched the National League East with a win against the Dodgers in 10 innings. Now, I ask you, Mackenzie, does that mean we are fading the Phillies tonight against the Dodgers?
Yeah, it seemed like yesterday. I guess it was 4 weeks ago when it was -110 Phillies Mets. So it's not like they've been running away with this thing. This wasn't guaranteed. They probably got really excited over the last couple weeks, clinched it with an 8-2 run. Yeah, they're not the best. They're not the LA Dodgers. They're not the best team in baseball. They probably do fall back because it doesn't matter. So game 152 is not a game 162 or 163.
I always love fading the champagne celebrations, right? So the Phillies had a champagne celebration last night. Now they're in L.A. to take on the Dodgers tonight once again. So another game of this series. Shohei Ohtani's on the mound for the Dodgers. You got Christopher Sanchez for the Phillies. I'm just going to fade the Phillies. I might even go under the Phillies team total in this game because I don't know what this lineup's going to look like tonight. Like, these guys might just, like, Bryce Harper might not play. Like, these guys just might take the night off, right?
You ever see those high school basketball videos where they have the, like special needs person come in and, like, shoot the last basket of the season? It's one of those moments. Like, it doesn't matter. They clinch the division.
They're just dumping the bench.
Exactly. And everyone's going to go crazy when the blind person gets held up next to the basketball hoop and they dunk it. It's going to be amazing. But it's not going to be a win for the Phillies.
Yeah, I totally am going to fade the Phillies here after the celebration for winning the division. So congratulations. Phillies win the National League East. I will be betting against you here.
-120 with Ohtani on the mound? Oh, come on. This is a steal.
I will be betting against you here for this game. So congratulations, Philadelphia. You have officially clinched the National League East. So now we know for a fact In the National League, the Phillies have won the East, and the Brewers are your winners here in the they've clinched a playoff berth, but they haven't clinched a division just yet. It's only a 5-game lead, but they have clinched a playoff berth. I guess, hey, it's not over yet for the Cubs. I mean, that's pretty crazy because at one point we thought it was definitely going to be over for the Cubs. In the American League, no division winners have clinched, no playoff berths have been clinched yet in the American League. The division standings, the Mariners are in first place. They have won 9 of their last 10. They are a half game up on the Houston Astros in the American League West. 3.5 games up on the Texas Rangers. Tigers 6.5 up on the Guardians in the Central. Blue Jays 5 games up on the Yankees in the East. Wild card standings, the Astros now 3 games up on both the Guardians and the Rangers for the 3rd wild card. In the National League, the Cubs are your first wild card. The Padres are your second wild card. The Mets sitting here, they are just a game and a half up on, I mean, is this real life?
Do we have playoff odds? I mean, this was 99% a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but Mackenzie, do you like? I'm almost like shocked to say this, like what the standings are in the National League wildcard race. The team that is a game and a half outside of the Mets for the 3rd wild card in the National League is the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Don't look now.
The Diamondbacks that we all wrote off when they traded away all their best players, right?
The man with the 6-syllable name.
Eugenio Suarez, Josh Naylor, gone. Shelby, other pitchers, gone. Merrill Kelly, that's what I was thinking of. Merrill Kelly, gone. Like, they all of a sudden.
Randy Johnson, not walking through that door.
Yeah. All of a sudden, here we are, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. I mean, would this be like, if they make the playoffs, would Torey Lovello be the manager of the year? No, right? Because he's not going to beat. He's not going to.
They always give it to someone that's like a first or second seed. They're going to give it to the Tigers guy, right?
Well, I'm talking about the National League. Like in the National League,
they do too. Man, what a sport!
Yeah.
Every 16th team is the freaking team of the year.
But like, it's hard to go against. I mean, the Brewers and I mean, Torey Lovello and the Diamondbacks. Are you kidding me? What? They're going to make the playoffs.
In that division with the Dodgers and the Padres and the Giants?
I did not think that was going to happen here. So the Diamondbacks are a game and a half back of the Mets. The Reds are 2 games back. The Giants are 2 games back. So things getting really interesting now here in the National League wild card picture. Okay, let's take a look at the games here for tonight. Not just the fade of the Phillies backing the Dodgers. We also have Braves and Nationals. No one cares. That's a doubleheader. That's fun, cool. Cubs are at the Pirates. Cade Horton on the mound for the Cubs. Paul Skeens for the Pirates. This is going to be one expensive nerfy that I'm going to play. You got Cade Horton for the Cubs and Paul Skeens for the Pirates. Let's get you a price on that. It's going to be you're gonna have to
Cade Horton minus 150 to be National League Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
Paul Skeens minus 50,000 to be National League Cy Young.
Your nerfy's minus 165. I mean, I'm playing it. I can't not.
Fair enough.
I can't not play it. There's no. They're not going to score in the first inning. They're not. This is 165. I'll play it. Can
you play the double nerfy? Can you say no scores in the first 2 or 3 yet? I guess you just play the under in the first.
You can just play the first 3 under. Yeah, I mean that would be one that you would play. Which is probably only going to be 1.5. Right? It's
a winner. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's a half. You kidding me?
Yeah, it's 1.5. It's plus 105 to the under on FanDuel right now. I don't hate it.
You play the nerfy, you get a little juicy, and then you get a little dog price on the under 1.5. I like it.
Yeah, that's a good call. I'll play them both. It's fun. Yeah, let's have some fun. Great pitching matchup here, and maybe some wind blowing in. We'll find out. Guardians are at the Tigers. Joey Cantillo for the Guardians, and Casey Mize goes for the Tigers. A's are at the Red Sox. Jeffrey Springs goes for the A's, and Connolly Early on the mound for the Red Sox. You think he's on time? Nice. The Padres are at the Mets. Michael King for the Padres. Clay Holmes goes for the Mets. Mets are small favorites at minus 115. I don't know how you lay a price with the Mets anymore. Blue Jays are at the Rays. Jose Barrios for the Blue Jays. Ryan Pepio goes for the Rays. You got the Angels at the Brewers. Freddie Peralta on the mound for the Brew Crew. They're minus 255. My goodness. Yankees are at the Twins. Cam Schlittler for the Yankees and Zebby Matthews for the Twins. Yankees minus 175. I would expect them to bounce back after the loss last night. Mariners are at the Royals. Logan Gilbert for the Mariners. Michael Wacha for KC. Mariners minus 145. They're just rolling right now, playing great baseball. Andrew Abbott on the mound for the Reds at the Cardinals, and McGreevy, Cincinnati minus 115 on the road. Rangers at the Astros. Merrill Kelly for the Rangers. And going for the Astros is A.J. Bluebaugh. Yeah, I said it. He's
so many jokes, so little time.
He'll be the opener in this one. Pretty painful opener there.
You know, AJ actually, his wife was on a missionary work for 6 months, so he became instead of AJ Hoffman, he was AJ Bluebaugh.
Yeah,
AJ Bluebaugh.
Yeah. Giants at the Diamondbacks. Not sure who's going for the Giants just yet, but Eduardo Rodriguez is scheduled to go for the Diamondbacks, and as we mentioned, Christopher Sanchez for the Phillies against Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers. Dodgers minus 120. That's going to be a play for me, as I am going to fade the Phillies here after the celebration winning the National League East. A programming alert reminder, I'll be hosting the BetUS TV college football show coming up today at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. The first of 2 episodes this week, each and every week. It's Tuesday and Wednesday, 1 o'clock Eastern Time, live on the BetUS TV college football show YouTube channel. So make sure you guys tune in there. You can comment throughout the show. We read your comments and your questions. It is a lot of fun, and we love your participation here on the program. Coming up this week, up on betterday.com. I'm working on a project. Mackenzie and I are working on it, on the team's aggressiveness here in the first 2 weeks of the NFL season. And the thought process behind this, as we're gonna pull back the curtain, as Fez would say, is I believe, well, this is the, like, what do we say, Mackenzie? Like when you do like the whole scientific method, like you pose like the question first, the hypothesis, right?
Sure.
And then now we go through it to prove it, right? We do our research and we do the whole thing here.
Data collection.
Yes. My hypothesis is that with the new kickoff rule and the change in the starting field position, combined with the new K-ball rules and kickers making 60-yarders like it's the easiest thing ever, giving up 3 points is like a team should be able to get 3 points on every drive, right? And so I think teams are going to be more aggressive on fourth downs. They're not going to punt. We're going to look at the data here through the first 2 weeks of the season, and we're going to see if we have noticed anything. We're going to compare it to the first 2 weeks of the season last year and the first 2 weeks of the season the year before. And so we'll see if the hypothesis is correct, that teams are more aggressive here in 2025. You can follow Mackenzie on Twitter at Mackin Rivers. Make sure you check out all his stuff there. You can follow me on Twitter at Scott's On Air. And here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.
This is a real good story about Bronx and his dad, Ryan, real United Airlines customers.
We were returning home, and one of the flight attendants asked Bronx if he wanted to see the flight deck and meet Captain Andrew.
I got to sit in the driver's seat.
I grew up in an aviation family, and seeing Bronx kind of reminded me of myself when I was that age.
That's Andrew, a real United pilot.
These small interactions can shape a kid's future.
It felt like I was the captain.
Allowing my son to see the flight deck will stick with us forever.
That's how good leads the way.